Oh, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to this DCF project call, a special one today. This is the first OCP Ready for Hyperscale presentation that's going to be carried out by Mitchel Flory of Aligned Data Centers. So great to have Mitchel Flory along, and this is really sort of a real kickoff to this new recognition that OCP have created in cooperation with leadership from Meta, leading the DCF, and Scott Sharp of Google. So, Mitchel, yeah, please go ahead and yeah, great to hear about Aligned Data Centers and the OCP Ready Data Center.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me. Good morning. As I said, I'm Mitchel Flory from Aligned Data Centers. I'll be presenting and discussing Aligned Data Centers and specifically our site OR-D02 for admission to the OCP Ready community. I'll be reviewing the OCP Ready checklist and offer a presentation overviewing Aligned Data Centers history, values, patented technology, work and sustainability, and details into the actual site. This will include a Matterport scan at the end, along with time for any questions. So I'll go ahead and get started. Okay, Aligned Data Center prides itself on pushing the envelope on innovation, so not being afraid to explore new opportunities at any level or scale. From our cooling technologies into our foray into embodied carbon, to operations, employees change how we operate and perform every day, from changing maintenance to our big push with iMasons on embodied carbon. Our people are our best resource for new ideas, so we utilize them consistently. We even have a program for recognizing and rewarding. We started in 2013 on the idea of sustainability and adaptive operations. So building to scale, our new cooling technology, new sustainable operations, really pushing the envelope on our procurement of equipment, so that we're able to build at a rapid rate around the country. We currently have 14 operating data centers with 10 in development, more sites planned and ready to grow. We have recently acquired OData in the South American market and are invested in the Q-Scale and the Canadian market. Feel free if you need to stop me at any time for any questions. And then again, with their sustainable linked financing, a lot of it through McCurry Asset Management Group, we have purchased land and equipment about 2 years out, so we can rapidly provide service. Our patented cooling technology allows us to scale at a larger rate and operate more adaptively with our customers. Utilizing our Delta 3 technology, we are able to cool, with the air cooling, we're able to cool 50 kilowatts per rack. They're modular. They allow fast and easy deployment and redistribution. So we operate off of a fan wall. It uses a closed cooling loop. It allows customers to load up each aisle full of equipment. And this allows us to cool a lot more and a lot more efficiently with less equipment than traditional crack systems. We have recently announced our new liquid cooling technology. So this will allow us to take our cooling to 300 kilowatts per rack, and this easily integrates with our air cooling wall, so that we can provide different solutions based off the customer needs. Sustainability, we approach it a holistic approach. Again, we are founded on sustainability through sustainable finance. We source renewable power at all our locations, 100% renewable power, along with sustainable reporting. We are always looking for new ways to improve our construction. We are currently in talks with different companies in the United States for different routes and different sources of precast and concrete for our buildings to help reduce our footprint. Concrete itself takes up 9% of the world's embodied carbon. We're also working with OriginMark, iMasons, and actually OCP groups on embodied carbon tracking. So going through our supply chains, going through all our assets, auditing, tagging, reaching out to manufacturers to get studies done, and working to standardize and push the embodied carbon industry forward. So our OCP tenets, so we're always striving for more efficient and sustainable operations, looking at different equipment, different ways that we can reduce our PUE, average PUE 1.23. It will vary across sites and across different regions, since we have some that are in Texas, Salt Lake City, and then up here in Illinois, each provides a different challenge and different opportunities. We've been moving away from adiabatic cooling to wireless cooling to reduce our WE footprint. Scalability, as talked about before, we are rapidly building. We do it in phases. So for already 02, a little less than 1 year to get the first 12 megawatts phase ready, and within the next year, the rest of the building will be ready for fit out. We are open with our processes. We will be sharing this detailed site assessment, and we'll continue to contribute and share back to OCP so that we may all push this forward. We will be the first, correct me if I'm wrong, we will be the first data center, if we are admitted to the community, into the North America and into the United States. So we're looking forward to continuing to grow with OCP, standardize our builds and our processes so that we can further our footprint and move OCP further into the North American market. So looking at specifically Oradio 2, it is their second building in the region. We have two other sites in the Chicago area that are looking to be developed. This is off of our first campus. So it is right off of I-290. It is right outside of the Chicago area. It provides 120,000 square foot of data hall, and then the admin space for offices and additional use. It also provides room for storage. So data hall designs, we utilize our fan walls. We use hot aisle containment. We use block redundant phases. So we have three separate phases, 6 blocks plus redundant. So each of those includes a 3 megawatt diesel generator with a UPS with a 5-minute battery. The generators currently, based off of last commissioning testing, the CAT generators we use can be on full load in around 2.7 seconds. So we utilize dual feed utility into our main distribution, which then at the UPS, we have additional redundancy, a generator, the UPS, and then SDS to different PDUs, and then each in the data halls from PDUs, they're dual feed. So we have 99.99% uptime. So quick. Get a better look at the site. So this was taken in November of last year. So this is one of the data halls. Here you see the Delta Cube fan walls. Behind these are blanked out. So if we needed to add more or move them for customer use, these can be easily shifted over. As well as for the liquid cooling technology, it can be added in and blanked in. So this is one of the smaller rooms. And then the hallways access to different data halls, to the loading bay, storage, and then admin. As we go through, so most of this, again, feel free to ask questions. Most of this is mostly self-explanatory going through. However, we do have space and loading required for OCP equipment. We have security 24/7, security with perimeter monitoring, as well as 24/7 operations staff ready to assist. We do offer remote hands and fiber operations. For actual connections in, AT&T, Nugent, Comcast, Crown Castle, Pac Fiber, and Zayo. We do offer for our customers taps into our BMS so they can continue, so they can monitor the designated equipment and for active monitoring of PUE. ORDO1, its sister site, is the first of our sites to be certified for Green Globe, and we're pushing for that certification across our enterprise for all our new builds. I know I zoomed through that. Does anybody have any questions at this current point?
Hey, Mitchell, thanks for a great presentation. Quick question. The assessment, that's a self-assessment, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. And in one of the slides you zipped through really quickly, the liquid cooling solutions.
Yes.
Is that an OCP DLC solution that you have?
Sorry, my apologies. Say that one more time.
The liquid cooling solution you had. Yeah, one more slide. I think the slide before this, actually, this one. So do
This
they
one?
tap into like blind made manifolds at a rack level, or how does that work? Because in the next slide you say it's liquid cooling the chip.
So yes, what
So
it does is it utilizes our chill water system that the air cooling uses, and what
Right.
it'll do is it'll feed chill water down and into. Now we are looking at different ways to feed this, whether the intent that so it will be direct to chip, but the loops will tap in from the top. We can also do it looking into other ways depending on customers' needs.
Right. Okay. So you provide the infrastructure, they tap into your network, and that's
Correct.
it.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
On that point, Mitchell, with regard sort of the CDU positioning and who actually provides the support for CDUs, is that a conversation that you've had already with customers and have a strategy for the CDU aspect of a liquid cooling installation?
So that'll be determined when we're working with the customer to design the layout of the data hall, depending on what their needs, what they're putting in. It'll be put into design within the fan wall to support the customer's needs. I'm not sure if that answers your question.
But the CDU is something that aligned with support. That would
Yes.
be in the purview. Yeah. And and you're supporting immersion cooling and also cold plate, or is there any type of liquid cooling that you're able to support?
So right now we're not into immersion cooling, but direct to chip and cold plate is where we are right now.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Mark, if I may, one question to you. So what are the biggest differences between I'm just going to call it OCP 1 ready data centers and the OCP for hyperscale data center certification?
So the version 1, which is the first one that we created, was specifically for data centers that were hosting open racks based on the OCP contributed design. So that's the purpose of the first assessment, which is still in place. But we found through the conversations with the hyperscale community that there was a need to have a different type of assessment that would be specific for their particular needs, so that we could help the hyperscale community utilize more co-location space. So that's the reasoning behind creating a different type of assessment. And I hope that sort of answers your questions. And there's definitely two different types of specifications of data centers, and not all data centers will meet the hyperscale requirements. But we're open to different types of use cases, so that's why we're retaining two at the moment, and we're not staying at two. There will be others in the future, maybe for network type edge use cases, and obviously we're looking forward to other types of use cases around AI and quantum computing as well in the future. So we're not standing still with the assessment, but we have two currently, and that's and that we feel fills the need for the current time.
Is there anything else anybody would like to see more of? Again, I know I zipped through it a bit quick. Now there are some items about the building, since the building is already purchased by customer. There may be some very specific building details that I may not be able to share at the moment. However, everything that's covered under the checklist, I'll be able to share.
Can you tell us any more, Mitchell, about the efficiency of your cooling system? And because I believe, that's one of the sort of very important sort of attributes of your data centers around the efficiency of the cooling system.
Absolutely. So for our Delta cooling arrays, which we use at every site, so the air cooling we use for this site specifically, we use Arctic chillers, so waterless chillers with two variable magnetically mounted motors for the refrigerant. It allows for air cooling, so it uses that chill water system and that loop that feeds chill water down to our Delta cubes set up in arrays, which controls each has variable fan speed and cooling water to maintain a 7.2 to 7.5 degree output. It has micro channels for the air and allows for more time for the air to be spent inside of the chiller. The fan is less of a fan and more of a pump to slowly push the air through at a consistent rate through the data hall. Excuse me. And based off of this, it allows us to compensate for changes throughout the day very, very quickly and minimize the amount of cooling we need. We use a higher delta T, around 32 degrees, so that we can be more efficient with our heat transfer. Now we utilize hot aisle. The hot air is returned. There are sealing. It basically uses the containment of sealing plenums, circles around to the Delta cubes. And based off of the output temperature, it will change either the amount of the chill water flow or the fan speed. And then based off of total loading, at that point, it will send that up to the chillers to either change the amount of the fan speed of the air cooling, the mechanical cooling versus the compressor cooling.
Okay, thanks, Mitchell. Does anyone have any more questions at all?
Yes, Alex here. Hi, Mitchell. Thanks for the presentation. quite interesting. I was curious regarding the if you could go a bit more in detail regarding the electrical setup you have, especially regarding the power supply for the racks, like basically the input output scenery. I think a bit back, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, exactly, yes.
For electrical, we have dual feed utility inputs. So we have a primary and the reserve substation. Those are fed into seven containers. So with a UPS and a diesel generator each. The seventh one is a redundant. So the power is fed from each of those blocks into its own set of static transfer switches into PDUs, which then go to the data hall. The STSs will switch between the generator and the UPS to allow for redundancy there. And if anything were to happen to any of the STSs or downstream in each block, it can shift over to the reserve block. And then in the data hall, they are dual feed as well. So one may come from block alpha, the other may come from block Charlie. And then our chillers are also powered off of each of these blocks. They're included into the overall power, but they are tapped off upstream at the MBS before the SDSs, so before the IT power. And those are also on a loop to allow for chillers of different parts of the circuit to compensate for if there is any, if a chiller fails in one section, the cooling will compensate and take over for the cooling for that area. As well as we have redundant chillers as well. Does that answer what you're looking for?
Yes, that good for that part. And then like going more towards the service itself, is that something you do yourself, or is that like done externally, or like bus bar connections and that type of that kind of stuff?
So that is more of the customer. Everything inside the data hall is more by customer.
Okay,
we fit out to meet what their needs, whether it's a specific voltage. We build to that.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
And Alexander, just to confirm, we don't ask for information about that within the assessment, because that's very specific to the customer's needs, and for the hyperscale tenant, that's very much proprietary information. So this is out of scope of the site assessment. But it's great, Mitchell, that you're able to share the information that you have. It's some great detail there. So thanks for that. Jaime, I believe you got a question.
Hi. Thanks, Mitchell, for the presentation. I have actually two different questions. One is I see you have designed following the principles of probably a tier 3 data center, but so have you certified? So that question on tier, on uptime, or in Big C. And the second question is more about the process. Did you do this on your own? Have you used a third party to assess you on this, or certified? I mean that to follow this process and do this checklist for you. And how long this has taken? How much time?
Absolutely. So for this checklist, I took it to effectively the subject matter experts. So I took the construction over to our director of architecture and his team and walked through it, as well as also getting the matrix to them for future builds and all future designs. I go to the I actually work with the the construction manager at the ORD site. So I've been taking questions to him. For operations and other equipment, I go to procurement. I do a lot with operations. So I've taken each different part of this and taken it to the actual group that it pertains to. So security, I went and took it to. So prior to this, I was actually operations in ORD 01. but even then I still took it over to the office with the checklist to actually walk through with the people that that part of the checklist is their responsibility, and had them actually filled out and look at it before I brought it here.
Okay, but no third-party certification body or something like that has had a look yet on it, right?
Correct.
Okay. And the other question is the certification about uptime and so on. Is this something you are doing, or is just design is based on the principles? If you're allowed to say that.
I guess I don't fully understand the question. My apologies.
So if the data center is going to be, or is Uptime Institute certified, or is merely designed following the principles of the Uptime Institute here?
Okay, I understand. Yeah, so for each of our sites, we look to get those certifications, and we do post those on our website as well for each site as we get them.
Okay, thanks.
I have a question about the digital twin.
Yes.
That you showed us in the presentation, which was really good. We haven't seen the use of a digital twin within any of the presentations to date. So this is great to see the use of this type of software.
So we're looking. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So is this something that is available, for access on your website, or is this really for customers to get some sort of, not only for customers, I'm sure for your internal staff as well, and contractors to get a visual understanding of the progress and etc. So yeah, interested to know how you use the digital twin in your operation.
Absolutely. So for Matterport, we've been starting to use it for the past year. So we use it for so we use it on the marketing side. We've been using it for customer success side. So right as the building is right before it's ready for fit out, going in and actually taking basically a Matterport scan of it, so that customers can actually take a look through and see, all right, this is where I need to take my equipment. This is where it comes in, being able to actually plan it out. You can actually perform measurements on this. We're looking at integrating this into asset management, so we can tie asset records and tickets within the Matterport scan. So looking at it for operations, utilizing it for training, as well as customer success and marketing as well. And then tracking project progress. So we're looking at as well during the building process, before the drywall goes up, doing a scan, and then doing a scan after drywall goes up, so that we have access to actually see behind the walls after the building is complete.
Great. That's great to hear. And yeah, so certainly something within OCP that we're looking to promote, the use of digital twins, not only in the data centers, but also throughout the whole ecosystem within for all different aspects of building a cloud data center. So yeah, great to see this in use. So I think we'll wrap up now. I think unless there's any more questions. Thank you very much, Mitchell, for your presentation. Fantastic facility. Great to have aligned, go through the OCP Ready for Hyperscale process, and yeah, looking forward to getting the approval through. So if you could share the presentation with me afterwards, Mitchell, I'll then share that out with the DCF community. That will go out for 1 week to get any feedback, any questions that anyone would like to ask, and please go ahead and we can feed that back to Mitchell. Yeah, so yeah, well, great. Thanks for everyone's attention. And, yeah, look forward to many more aligned data centers coming onto the OCP Ready estate.
And thank you all very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Mitchell.
Bye now.
Thank you.